All right, what's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is here. We're going to have some free agency fun talk here. We're going to have a special guest popping in a few minutes. But before we get into any of those details, I'll let you guys know where to find us. Again, this is your boy Mike from Nothing But Niners. You guys can check us out on the website. That is www.nothingbutniners.com. There you guys are going to find our Twitter. You guys are going to find our Snapchat. That's Nothing But Nine ERS. You're going to find the Instagram. You're going to find the Facebook. You're going to find a bunch of great articles written by a bunch of great people. All that good stuff that you guys always hear. Most importantly, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button down there at the bottom. All right, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you have the alert for when we're speaking. And with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and talk to my man Nick. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Free agency is upon us, man. 4 o'clock, hearing some rumblings already. So, hearing some rumblings and stuff like that. But super excited to get our guest on today, man. He's great guy, always puts out great content. And what's new with you, man?
Same old, man. You know, I've been sitting here picking my brain and trying to figure out, being here on the East Coast, we get a little bit more exposure to Giants players and their woes and things like that. And we know that the Giants were struggling with their offensive line, right? So then we hear that the 49ers are going to be signing their guard/center, which has been playing more center than anything, right? Of Weston Richburg. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, why? This guy played the 4 games in preseason. He played a couple of games in the regular season, got a concussion, and that was it. They never brought him back up. Now, you're going to hear also conflicting reports that, he was healthy, but the Giants didn't bring him back up and all that stuff. Well, if the Giants' weakness last year was offensive line, the play was so bad, and he's available, and he's good enough to get a 5-year deal. We don't know the money yet, but if he's good enough to get this projected 5-year deal, why didn't they bring him back up? So I want to get your thoughts on that before Cam jumps on with us.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Daniel Kilgore's contract's really only a 1-year contract, right? Both of them have played guard and center. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a battle. And I think if we do sign this guy and it becomes official, that it's going to be a battle, and one or the other is going to play the other guard position for the 1 year. So they'll compete at center, and they'll probably both take snaps in both positions. Kyle likes versatility on his line with his linemen. We know that from injuries. So what I think is Daniel Kilgore's contract is basically a 1-year contract. We could do away with him next year. Bringing this guy in who is much better PFF stat-wise and stuff like that will help this team get better with the O-line. But I think it's going to be a competition. Whoever wins that competition will play center, and the other person will fill the position of guard.
Now, we don't know what Cam's opinion is going to be on this yet, but do you think it's going to take us out of the guard market in free agency and or the draft?
No, I don't think so. I think what this move does is there's a person or an individual that was available that fits our scheme in this type of offense, and Kyle Shanahan is going to take the risk of getting him. And we're not sure how the contract's structured yet. So if it is official, I mean, it could be a 5-year deal where we can opt out in year 2. We really don't know things like what his plans are with this until we find out contract details and how the contract's negotiated. And Parag is a genius with that. So I have no problems with what this contract's going to be.
Yeah. So this is not, I want to make it clear to everybody watching, this is not the breaking news thing because he hasn't officially signed. What we're not going to do is get Frank Gore. Okay. Remember what Frank did to the Eagles a couple of years ago where he, said that he was going to join with them, and then, right at the last minute, he changed his mind and went to the Colts. So this is not breaking news. We're just talking about some rumors that we heard so far. I know a lot of fans got their hearts broken this morning when they woke up and saw that Allen Robinson wasn't going to be joining the 49ers. There are some good alternates out there, guys. So you guys don't have to be too worried about that. There's guys like Dante Moncrief, who is going to be available out there. And yeah, Allen Robinson is an inch taller than him, but Moncrief had a better vertical. You know what I mean? He's had the better broad jump. So the athleticism is there to make up for that inch difference in height. And that's someone that I think the Niners might maybe be looking at since they didn't get their guy in Robinson. there's always a contingency plan. This staff seems to be well adverse to those situations, and they have a good backup plan.
That's if the 49ers were even really going after Allen Robinson, man. Like, I really feel Kyle Shanahan thinks he can deal with what receivers he has right now, get somebody in the draft that he likes, and grow that person as well. I'm not dumping that much money on somebody coming off an ACL injury. I'm sorry. 3 years, $42 million, that's $14 million a year. We were talking about that. I said that that's how much he would get. And, you know, people were like, oh, he's not going to get more than 13. He's not going to get more than this. Well, he did. And it's funny. I think he picked Chicago because of family. He has family there, closer to family, took the bank, and they're making some moves around him. So we'll see. I mean, good luck to him. He's a great athlete, but I just didn't see us breaking the bank on him for that or building him a bank like they did.
Yeah, contract details are going to be key to that thing. I mean, I think that's the max amount. I don't know. I don't think that's his guarantees. There was a contract that we were talking about. Who was it that signed? It was a wide receiver, and we were like, he's not going to get that kind of money.
That was Mike Evans.
Okay. That's what it was. And what was Evans? $15 million a year, or something like that.
16. It was 5 years, $82 million, 82.5.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I remember us having that debate. Like, I was like, he's not going to get Mike Evans money. He'll get 13. That's about where we thought he was going to be. So he landed right exactly where we thought he was going to be. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. The other guy that broke the 49er fans' hearts was Norwell. Rumors are that he's going to Jacksonville, believe it or not. So it's a little triangle that's going on here. Norwell going to Jacksonville, and the guy that we wanted going to Jacksonville, the guy from Jacksonville that we wanted going to Chicago. And then what are your thoughts on that, man? Because I don't know, man. This is if Norwell was plan A and this projected Richburg signing was plan B, I just don't know, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see what you're saying there, but like I said, the biggest thing I want to happen from all of this is the fact that the fans don't go and turn on Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch right now because they're not signing big names. And John Lynch came out yesterday basically saying that we're not going to go after splash. We're not going to add those splash names. Like, we're going to add people that we feel that fit this system and are going to help us win. So, and I'm going to ask Cam that once he jumps on here. For all those watching right now, we're still waiting on Cam to jump in. So just so you know, hang around, don't leave, not thinking that he's not here or we're just trying to hoax you and he's not going to be here, because he is going to be here. He's just really busy right now. So we told him we'd hop on and then he can hop on in between. So, Mike, I mean, what do you think? Do you think the 49ers really need to sign these big name?
Well, it's not about big names as much as it is about getting production out of somebody. Marquise Goodwin was not a big name that we signed last year. Fans weren't even excited. In fact, fans mocked us. 49er fans mocked this coaching staff and the regime for bringing in a Marquise Goodwin. And then when it's all said and done, Marquise Goodwin was 2 catches away from being a 1,000-yard receiver last year. So when those kind of things happen, you can't just say, well, this isn't the name I want. We need to get bigger. We need to get better. When was it listen to this. Without Jimmy Garoppolo last year, Pierre Garçon had 500 yards receiving in 8 games. He was on pace to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Without that injury at the end of that game, week 17, you would have had a 1,000-yard receiver also in Marquise Goodwin. When was the last time the 49ers were projected to have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers on the same roster? It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in years. So I don't know if it's happened ever. I mean, what are we going back to? Like Taylor and freaking Rice? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how far back do we have to go to get that kind of production from people? It just doesn't happen often. Not in the last decade or two. So I like what we're doing. It's not about who you sign. It's not about the big names. It's about what you do with the people that you do sign.
Hey, and like I said last night on my Twitter account was, don't worry, Kyle Shanahan is going to mold our own AR. Like, these names weren't just big names coming straight out of college. They weren't, everybody wanted them. The systems that they went in, the coaches that they went with, the quarterbacks that they had, or just the person itself, the way they excelled. Look at Antonio Brown. He was drafted, 5th round? It was late, right?
Yeah, Antonio Brown was a late signing, yeah.
You know what I mean? So Look who we drafted in the 7th round in Adrian Colbert. Look what he's becoming. So big names are just big names because of what they've done in the NFL. We have those kind of guys that can be produced like that, like a Kendrick Bourne or, a Trent Taylor. Like, not that Trent Taylor is going to be, 1,500-yard receiver or anything like that, but he's going to be that go-to third down guy. You saw that happened at the end of the season last year. He came through clutch. All these receivers, we didn't get a really good look at all of our receivers for the full year because of our quarterback issue. Once Jimmy Garoppolo came in, he extended and raised the play of the receivers compared to what Brian Hoyer did. Watching Brian Hoyer play against the Rams in the beginning of the year to watching Jimmy Garoppolo play against Jacksonville, our team was a total different team. And we all know that because we won 5 straight. But your receiver is just as good as your quarterback, and your quarterback makes your receiver who he is. So I really think that we have that possibility to make somebody like an AR here.
And the one position that is starting to worry me, man, and I know I shouldn't be saying this, but it's the running back position. It really, really is the running back position. And I'm sticking with the offensive scheme because that's what we're talking about here, wide receivers, offensive linemen, Jimmy Garoppolo. But the running back position, it wasn't anything to write home about last year. I mean, it was okay. We saw some flashes here and there. We saw some good plays occasionally, but there was no one here that was like, wow, man, like that guy is dangerous. Teams have to stack the box for that guy. You know what I mean? And we didn't have that effect here. And I'm not sure we're going to get that this offseason either. I think we're looking for just complementary pieces. Long gone are the days of Frank Gore getting 29, 30 carries a game. Carlos Hyde even getting 24, 25 carries a game. I think those days are gone, man. I think we're looking at 2 or 3 backs getting about 15 apiece. What do you think about that, man? Because the running back position is something that's starting to look a little bit scary to me. The reality is starting to set in. Like Crowell might be the best fit for us. I know a lot of people are talking about Deion Lewis and all, but I think Crowell might be the best fit for us, and I don't even know if he's interested in coming to San Francisco.
Well, I said that yesterday. I was talking to a couple people saying, the hell with receiver. Oh. Hey, Cam.
How's it going, guys?
Nick, you want to go ahead and introduce our guest?
Yeah, so guys, I mean, if you guys all don't already know Cam Inman is joining us today. Really busy over there. Only has about 10 minutes or so with us because we've got a lot going on in the 49er world. But Cam, thanks for joining us, man. What's going on? How's everything going so far?
You guys hear me all right? I couldn't find my headphones.
Yeah.
Free agency, man. Things are going crazy. I don't know where my bags are even from the other day, so it's all good.
Yeah. Before we get started, one quick question. How'd your daughter end up doing in the tournament?
I think they finished tied for 3rd place. So they did all right. They did all right. Thanks. She's playing competitive softball and soccer at the same time, so it's juggling act, but that's the fun of it. So I got 3 kids, and that's my middle one.
Nice. So Mike is the other one that's over there with me. That's our co-host as well.
Mike.
So, Mike, you got anything? Go ahead, Mike. Start us off, buddy.
Yeah, so I want to figure out all right, so we're not going to officially say that Richburg is signed or anything like that because we saw what Frank Gore did a couple of years ago. But your thoughts on what that does for the guard or center market for the 49ers? Does this take us out of the hunt for a guy like Sitton, for example? Or are we going to say that we don't need to address it if at 9 Quentin Nelson is sitting there for us?
This is what I would think. By getting Richburg, he can't sign until Wednesday at 1:00. So all you're going to have right now are all these reports of guys have agreed to it. They're not officially allowed to. But by getting Richburg, the question with getting Weston Richburg is, what does this mean for Dan Kilgore? Does this mean he's going to have to compete again to be the starting center just like he did last year with Zutah and Tim Barnes coming in? Or will Kilgore switch over to a guard spot? Will Richburg switch over to a guard spot? My guess is I would think Richburg is going to be one of the guards, probably a left guard, and keep Kilgore at center because that's where Dan's used to playing. Doesn't have to be as mobile and stuff. And then I think in terms of Solder or the tackle positions, I mean, I think that doesn't rule out them from going after a tackle in the draft. I don't think there's a free agent tackle out there. You obviously re-sign Gary Gilliam to be your swing tackle or possibly be your right tackle if Trent Brown's not ready to go or if he falls out of favor. Then Staley's got a few more years left. He's got to get a new deal. So that'll be interesting to see just whether they reward Joe Staley or not. But that's how I kind of see it. The offensive line's not in as bad shape now that you have Jimmy Garoppolo making everybody look good.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about is Jimmy extending the play of everybody on this team. I mean, huge difference from the first 10 games to the last 6.
Oh, yeah.
Just his ability to move around and get the ball out as fast makes these receivers and this type of Kyle Shanahan offense with their receiver separation that much better. So how does everything feel? I mean, just a quick question. How's everything feel around there in the building compared to, like, how do you think John Lynch has done his first year as general manager, and what do you feel that the building is, the atmosphere around the building? Do you see a huge difference in there?
Absolutely. It's so it's such a fresh feel. Obviously, they got rid of so many different players. There's different coaches. I mean, we've seen so many coaches come through the last few years. But the way that Kyle Shanahan, I think, handled that 0-9 start last season really solidified to me that this franchise is not so there. I mean, 0-9 should have just been a death knell for another coach, right? But everybody knew Shanahan wasn't going anywhere. He had a 6-year deal. It wasn't like a Chip Kelly disaster or Jim Tomsula disaster. Everything seemed okay. The team is in games. Everybody seemed to be on the same page. If you're not, we'll send you out, as they did with Stride Robinson and Navarro Bowman. And I think that everybody that wanted to be there was there, and everybody understood that. And once they started winning and get that feel with Beathard beating the team, then they were able to get in Garoppolo, plug him in, and everybody. I mean, by beating some of these teams the way they did with so much offense, I think that was really the eye-opening aspect of, okay, that's what Shanahan's supposed to be able to deliver as a big offensive product. And they were putting up points and yards, which is what you have to do now in the NFL. And for years, the Niners were winning with the run game, the good defense that got them through the playoffs. And it's great to watch from a purist standpoint, but in today's NFL, you really got to be able to score some more points. And I think they finally have that capability now. So I know people today might be a little bummed that they didn't get Allen Robinson as a wide receiver or Sammy Watkins. I honestly, and I said this last week, I said my hunch was they weren't going to go after either one of those guys. They gave Goodwin a contract extension. They got Garcon, a lot of money tied up in him. Young guys with Trent Taylor, Kendrick Bourne. You draft another guy, find another mediocre free agent that you turn into a great free agent. Aldrick Robinson, another guy still on the staff. So I didn't think they were going to go too hard after Allen Robinson. ACL guy, that would have worked under the pass regime.
Yeah. So do you think that the biggest need for this team right now might be pass rush, like an edge defender?
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when they signed Aldon Smith or drafted Aldon Smith with their top pick in 2011. I loved it because I said, you got to get to the quarterback. And the problem is I don't know if there's not one really available in free agency that's evident to us. Maybe they found one that they can wait on and get him at a lower price, one that they'll unearth and turn out to be a great find. Maybe that's what they go after in the draft. I really hesitate on using your top pick in 4 straight drafts on a guy in the defensive front. I think you need a skill position player. I think the biggest question mark with this team right now, outside of the edge rusher, like you said, is running back. Because if Carlos Hyde's gone, what are you doing? I mean, I like Matt Breida a lot. I like Matt Breida the first minute I saw him on the field last year. I just don't know if he's big enough to carry the load as a workhorse running back. He's a great complementary back. That's what I picked. I said Alfred Morris is going to be the guy, and I could be totally off base, but Shanahan worked great with Alfred Morris, in 2012 and 13 in Washington, and he was off the radar the last 2 years in Dallas, backing up Zeke, and that basically saves him. But if they got in Crowell or Deion Lewis. Or McKinnon from Minnesota. Hey, all these guys are going to look great in that offense with a great quarterback now that there's a passing threat.
Yeah, Nick and I were just talking about the same exact thing, pass rush probably being the biggest need, but my biggest worry on offense was definitely the running back position. And I threw out Corral. I did bring up to the guys a couple of weeks ago the idea of Alfred Morris, but they kind of laughed me out the building, so I haven't said it on camera.
That's because we haven't heard from Alfred Morris in a few years, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him play much, but in this league you connect the dots, right? And that's look at all the guys that Shanahan had brought in recently in terms of his coaches and other players. Last year brought in guys from Washington. There were guys from Houston, Jacksonville with Saleh. A lot of connecting dots, guys. And Crowell and Lewis both have dots connecting to the Shanahan time back in Cleveland in 2014.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this is a busy time for you. Go ahead, Nick. It looked like you want to jump in and say something really quick?
Oh, I was just going to jump in and say I love the Alfred Morris thing because he had his best years under Shanahan.
Right.
I mean, he had his best years of his career under Shanahan, and is definitely that type of running back that we fit. So, all right, one last thing. If you have that question, and I just want to say, we all know that we just signed a big nemesis in Richard Sherman. How do you feel about this? And do you think – I think that it's big because of his experience and be able to help Akello along. But I want to see what you think.
I mean, that's absolutely true. I don't think Akello's anywhere near Richard Sherman's status right now. He's got the same body frame, but you got to have this swagger to you. I don't think Akello has that. I think he's going to be a really good, efficient cornerback. My take on cornerbacks is unless you're a really top flight one, you're going to get burnt in this league. Just the way the league, the way the pass rules are. Unless you're a guy that knows you're one of the best, that you've proven it, and the best one available is Richard Sherman. So if he's healthy, and that is what you're waiting on, and he was just on the radio out here in San Francisco with Murph and Mack, and he says he wants to get on the field in June. He was feeling that he was running about 90% on a treadmill until he had a bone spur removed from his left Achilles. That's not the right one that he got repaired. So that's the other thing. Is if that was something that was bugging him and he was going to have to take it slow in rehab, well, then, get the other one fixed. So when you're back on the field, you feel fully healthy that you're not going to compensate on one bad Achilles. And, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I seen that he also said that he spoke with Jimmy Ward, and Jimmy Ward said that he can have 25.
He did. I don't know what the price of it was, but
– Yeah, I saw that.
It fascinates me how much fans get caught up in the jersey numbers. I mean, people don't care about the contract numbers as much because it's not coming out of my pocket or your pocket, except for ticket prices and the cost of a vegan dog at Levi's Stadium. But I think that everybody wants to know, hey, what number do I got to get if I'm going to support Sherman? Do I get the 25? Do I wait? I guess you go get 25 now. But, hey, that jersey may only be a one-year rental. So don't go spending your 80. How much your jerseys cost now? $120?
Yeah, around that. I mean, a good one.
Right.
That was the other thing is we don't know what. I mean, Jimmy Ward's future is definitely up in the air here.
It is. He's making a lot of money, but your option. If I'm the Niners, if I'm Prague, right, you're trying to negotiate a deal with him right now to get him on like a 3-year extension, 2-year extension maybe, so you can spread that $8 million out and make it a $10 million over 3 years or something like that. So you're asking him to take a pay cut because that's a lot of money to spend on a guy that's just, hey, I like Jimmy a lot. He's made some good plays. He was doing really well last year until he got hurt. And
Jimmy,
go ahead.
I was going to say Jimmy Ward, to me, is the Sam Bradford of a defense. Like when he plays, he's efficient, he's good, but he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, but Sam Bradford, I don't think Sam Bradford's any good. I think Jimmy Ward's pretty good.
Me either. I'm with you on that, Cam.
All right, fellas. Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. I'm going to run.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy it.
Throw out your Twitter handle really quick just to let people know where to find you. And if you guys don't already, make sure you give Cam Inman a follow. Thanks for joining us, bud.
All right, guys. Thanks. Yeah, Cam Inman. Check me out. And mercurynews.com. Take care, guys.
All right. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right. So that was our Can Inman segment, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed that. He brought up some good points, man. He said that he said Jimmy Ward's actually good. He doesn't think Sam Bradford's good. That's funny to me, man. I thought I was going somewhere with that comparison, and he shot me right down. But he's in line with everything that we were saying before he jumped on, Nick. Running back seems to be the position of concern on the offense, and pass rush has always been the concern for the 49ers. So I don't know, man. It's a little early. We said that we were going to get to the draft stuff a little bit more once free agency got started. It's not officially started, but we're hearing rumors here. We still got to wait. I don't think the Niners are done by any means. I still think that we bring another offensive lineman. I would not be surprised if we brought in another corner, and I still wouldn't be surprised if we brought in a wide receiver as well in this free agency period. So, guys, this is going to be a lot of stuff happening very quickly. We're going to continue to bring you guys the breaking news and stuff like that. But, we got to be patient. We have to be patient. We have to trust the process. You got to look at all the signings that happened last year. How many of them didn't shake out? I remember Robbie Gould sitting up there. He looked like a team MVP throughout the season. You remember Pierre Garçon sitting up there, and everyone's like he was old, but he came out kicking ass and fighting strong. We laughed at the Marquise Goodwin. I'm saying we, speaking on behalf of a lot of the faithful. I personally didn't do it, but people laughed at the Marquise Goodwin signing. Here he is, almost 1,000-yard wide receiver, doubling his output for his career, what he did in Buffalo, coming here and doubling his numbers. It's amazing, And the one thing that they say he was good at in Buffalo was the one thing we didn't depend on him to do here. We didn't depend on him to be that deep down the field guy all the time. Yeah, we did it a couple of times, but it wasn't the bread and butter. He started to become a good route runner and showed good hands and things like that. I remember Logan Paulson. That didn't work out. That was one sign that didn't work out. But again, he's brought in for familiarity. I know for a fact that he was helping those tight ends in the tight end room come along with the system a little bit faster. And you can see the growth in guys like George Kittle. There was a big difference from George Kittle week 1 to George Kittle week 17. You could see the difference. You could see the confidence and things like that. And you know that it's Logan Paulson that's helping out with things like that. I'm trying to think of who else was up on that panel during all that. Kyle Juszczyk. I still think that if there was one negative, it was that Kyle Juszczyk contract, not Juszczyk himself. Juszczyk is cool, and he's a good value to the team, but I think that contract was a little bit steep. That's the one negative I think that happened last offseason. But everything else, I mean, we didn't see Smith. We haven't seen him play official game snaps yet, but he'll be back. That pec is healing fine. The 49ers are anticipating him coming back. I mean, last free agency, if you're going to compare, we did a lot of signing. We did a lot of day 1, day 2, day 3 signings. And I expect it to be similar, not as many in total, but I expect it to be similar this year. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to go and sign 11 free agents or 17 free agents, whatever it was that we signed last year. You have to remember there was a big turnover last year. Now I think there's only 9 guys or something like that were on the team before the turnover last year. I think that's what it is. But I'm excited to see Pierre Garçon in this offense, man, once he gets healthy. I know I've been saying that, but, Mike, just to talk about that, he had 40 receptions for 500 yards before he went down injured, 12.5 yards per catch.
Yep.
Goodwin was averaging 17.2 yards, and I think he had 76 catches for almost 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So, and that's not even saying Taylor. I think Taylor was a little bit under 400 or 500 receiving yards. And Kittle, I think Kittle's going to become that red zone threat that we're looking for. I think Juszczyk is going to expand his athleticism in this offense this year. I mean, he went through some back injuries last year on and off. Man, I'm just excited. I think and I'm excited to see Bourne. I'm excited to see Bourne too. So I don't think we're going to do as many big splash signings, but like we were talking about, running back is definitely my thing. I think we need to figure out what's going to happen there. I like McKinnon. I know it's 6 or 7 year a mil, or 6 or 7 mil a year, but I like McKinnon. I like Crowell. I like Lewis. All of them would be a great fit. Any of those would be an upstep, but you also got to remember we have Joe Williams, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, and Jeremy McNichols. So who knows what's in that brain of Kyle Shanahan, man? Who knows? He may have something up his sleeve already and know what he's doing, and the player may already know what they're doing, but we don't. So it was great for Cam to jump on and join us, man. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification button as well to get notifications when we go live. Pod should be out, tomorrow or so?
Yeah, I should be able to finish editing that up today and get everything out there. It's going to be a good one with Dylan D. Simone of 4th and 9. So you guys look out for that. It was about an hour-long podcast. You guys are going to get to enjoy that one. So make sure you subscribed on iTunes or whatever podcast avenue that you use. That's going to be something that you guys get to enjoy.
Yeah, and check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play. We're everywhere you want to be. Also, just social media, Nothing But Nine ERS at Twitter and Snapchat, Nothing But Niners at Facebook, Instagram, and nothingbutniners.com. Check us out over there. Also, check out the new podcast that just dropped, The Bay to LA. Check that out. Big shout out to him over there. So check that out. His first episode went up last night. So go ahead and check that out, guys. And Mike, you got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good. I think this is going to be an exciting time. I'm getting a lot of notifications here, so I don't know what's going on. I can't wait to jump and see what else is happening, man. By the way, nothing 49ers related, but listen, the Arizona Cardinals offered Kirk Cousins $145 million, 5 years, all right? And they're saying that he's deciding between them and the Minnesota Vikings, who only offered him $28 million a year, but they're saying it's fully guaranteed. If he takes the $28 million a year, it's for 3 years, so it's only $84 million. There's a possibility that he could sign another long-term contract, but he would make more if he took the other contract with the Cardinals. Can you imagine Kirk Cousins with David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald another year and Brown out there? Like that's going to be a pretty good offense over there if they manage to land Kirk Cousins. I don't know if he's just using that for leverage or what, but
I'm glad he ain't landing over there.
You don't think he's going to go?
No, I hope he doesn't. Me personally, I'm taking the 145 mil.
Right.
And it's a lot warmer. Like, what else? And his sister lives in Arizona.
But he's also got a house built in Michigan, and there's some tax law that Michigan and Minnesota that would share the tax. He would save a lot more money for the tax. It's like 3% taxes if he were to go stay there because of the tax law between Michigan and Minnesota. So
yeah. So how much did you seen how much Sammy Watkins is proposed to get? I didn't see where he was going, but I just saw.
Oh yeah, Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins went to Kansas City, I believe.
Oh wow! For 3 years, $86 million.
Yeah, he got like $16 million a year.
Bang.
Sammy Watkins gets 16. AR gets his 13. Yeah, these guys are moving. I'm pretty sure it's Kansas City. That's where he went. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kansas City.
Hill and Sammy Watkins.
And fucking Hill. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying not to curse. And Tyreek Hill, bro. Like they are loaded up. They are the fastest team probably on paper right now. Like hands down. You got to prepare for speed over there.
I'm glad we don't play them 2 times a year.
Thank God, right? The Andy Reid's loading up over there, man. That they are trying to take that division by storm.
Yeah, but they got to do it with a brand new quarterback.
Exactly, and that's why it's important for Denver to land a guy. They're saying that Case Keenum is going to be the guy in Denver. I think that's folding, man. I don't know, man. I feel like they could have done better. I really do. I feel like they could have done better, but what do I know? I'm just a fan.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. Guys, make sure you hit that notification button, man, because we are going to be bringing you all breaking news once everything is official. Everything that we hear, you will hear. Check it out here at Nothing But Niners. Hit that subscribe button. Set the bells for notifications. Follow us on all avenues of the podcast, all avenues of social media. Myself, Mike, and our team will bring you all the news that we have. And above all else, stay faithful. We out.